Bulavinaka, my name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selena, I'm from Tavenga Vengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Pula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, villagers have water after 50-year wait. Woman faces court for bribing public official. And unionist Felix Anthony questioned and released.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Smith.
For almost 5 decades, the combined dry spell and growing village population meant that water supply for Vuondomo outside of Savu town was not sufficient to meet the demand. Today it's a different story, with the completion of a rural water project costing $145,000. Eleanor Tarangaivu reports.
For years, villagers of Vuondomo have been relying on a water system constructed in the 1970s. With only 3 standpipes shared by the village. A survey by the Water Authority of Fiji determined that the scheme needed a full upgrade.
There is a small creek that our existing water system stems from. If you see, there is a footpath that runs in the village. That is where the old scheme runs. One of the standpipes is at the end of the footpath. With a growing population meant the scheme could no longer cater for us.
The Vuondomo Rural Water Project saw the construction of a new dam, a new 10,000-litre tank, the laying of new mains, and the installation of air valves, standpipes, and showers. The completion of the project now enables each of the 23 homes in the village to receive regular and abundant water supply from the new system.
This project is aligned to the development priorities pursued globally, in particular the Sustainable Development Goals number 6, that involves clean water and sanitation.
The project is part of government's ongoing efforts to provide safe drinking water to 36,458 Fijians in over 178 villages and settlements and schools in the 2017-2018 financial year.
The project also delivers government obligation relating to basic needs outlined in the 2013 Constitution, especially the right to accessible and adequate sanitation, as well as adequate quantity of clean and safe water.
Vuondomo villagers have been urged to take proper care of the new water system and its infrastructure, and also ensure that a proper maintenance program is developed. Eleanor Tarangaivu, FBC News.
Naweni District School in Dakandrove has had it tough, experiencing the destructive force of Cyclone Winston in 2015, Cyclone Thomas in 2010, and Cyclone Amy in 2002. Today the school is stronger and more resilient and is able to withstand a strong cyclone. Eleanor Tarangaivu with this report.
Almost 2 years after it was devastated by the strongest cyclone in the southern hemisphere, Naweni District School in Dakandrove has been reinstated to full operation following the construction of new classrooms and teachers' quarters.
Now we're opening 4 more classrooms that are fully equipped with toilets and showers, a new library and 2 duplex teachers' quarters, all constructed to a higher standard of resilience to last for when the next storm strikes.
In no uncertain terms, the Prime Minister Warenge Bainimarama blamed past governments for not having the insight to invest in high-quality infrastructure.
They built poorly constructed schools that crumbled in the face of severe weather, and they failed to consider the long term. 95% of schools destroyed by Cyclone Winston were originally constructed without any building plans at all.
Naweni District School Manager Akilio Sila says this is a new lease of life for the students of Naweni District School, knowing their school is much more resilient now.
The new classrooms replaced the 4 that were destroyed by the TC Winston. The Prime Minister had come to see the damage and stated they will rebuild it. Now we have the classrooms, which are much bigger than before, and also space as an evacuation center for the school.
Construction of the new buildings cost government around $1.65 million. Eleanor Tarangaivu, FBC News.
A 47-year-old woman alleged to have offered a bribe to an immigration officer has been remanded in custody by the Suva Magistrates Court. Meena Devi appeared in the court charged with one count of bribery of a public official. Devi, who resides in Nasole, Nasinu, is alleged to have offered $10,000 to an immigration officer to produce a Fijian passport for a Chinese national. It is alleged the incident took place between 18th January and 22nd January this year. The Suva magistrate bailed Devi on strict conditions. However, she was not able to provide suitable sureties and therefore has been remanded in custody until tomorrow. The Fiji Trades Union Congress General Secretary Felix Anthony was taken in for questioning today in relation to the conduct of the march that took place on the 13th of this month. This was confirmed by the police force, who stated that Anthony was also questioned on events that happened after the march. FBC News also contacted Felix Anthony. He confirmed that he was taken in for questioning this morning at the Lautoka police station and has since been released from custody. Police spokesperson Annai Soro says they will not comment on the matter further. 8 state-owned enterprises failed to submit their required financial and planning reports to the Public Enterprise Ministry last year. Rachel Nath reports these entities were unable to provide the reports because they are relatively smaller and could not comply with international reporting requirements.
While presenting to the Parliamentary Public Accounts Committee, Permanent Secretary of the Public Enterprise Jitendra Singh highlighted there's been an improvement in submissions.
In 2015, we had only 6 compliant state-owned enterprises that were submitting reports to us at a compliance rate of 29%, but this has gradually increased.
Singh says in terms of audit of accounts, some entities are lagging behind.
What actions have you taken for those entities that are not in compliance?
They have been reminded to clear these outstanding reports. So at this stage, we have been working closely with them and trying to have these documents cleared.
Meanwhile, it's also highlighted the overall performance of public enterprise has improved significantly.
In the consolidated portfolio, in the 2014 to 16 period, more entities are now earning more than the 10% return on equity.
Last year, the government received a record-breaking $78.8 million as dividend from 25 state-owned enterprises, compared to $4.2 million in 2007. Rachel Nath, FBC News.
Still to come, speeding violations increase on new western roads. And FNCDP supports police forces' war on drugs. Stay with us.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo tali taka na varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kuminasong mo tikola ndo tali taka na Radio Fiji 1 kina Domoy Viti.
Kaya kuyago sila tali, nagurara may nawamanyi, nandunga. Gitu tali takiri ang gitu Venezuela, nagudurong varorong na Radio Fiji 1 na Domoy Viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 na Domoy Viti na bonga ni BNN.
The right to vote is an expression of the will of the individual as recognized in the Fijian Constitution and must be exercised without fear of reprisal and recrimination. Human Rights and Anti-Discrimination Commission Director Ashwin Raj made this comment in regards to a front-page story in the Fiji Times titled "No Road, No Vote." Raj says any person in a position of authority, whether they be religious leaders, village heads, trade unionists or political party leaders, have no right to make decisions or impose their will unilaterally on people who look up to them.
By no means am I saying that people have no right in their various collectivities, whether it be in the village setting or any other setting for that matter, to discuss issues that are germane to them, and they have every right to express their disaffection when it comes to service delivery and so on and so forth. But for the head of a particular collectivity to make a decision unilaterally saying that, look, we've decided that we won't be voting I think is quite contrary to this fundamental right, which is an individual right.
The Fiji Roads Authority is concerned with an increase in speeding violations in the Western Division. They say drivers are exceeding the speed limit, especially on the newly built 4-lane stretches of highway in Nandi. Felipe Naikaso has more.
Speeding is a major concern nationally, and the FRA has noticed this, especially in the Western Division. They've stated they don't want to turn a blind eye and are doing all they can to assist in curbing this issue.
So we don't want to put speed bumps in these major highways. So what we'll do in Martin Tar and down in Amaka, we're going to put in some traffic lights. Those traffic lights have many benefits. They control the traffic flow, they improve congestion, they allow pedestrians to cross.
The FRA feels traffic signals on stretches where drivers tend to speed will help solve the problem.
Because of the traffic lights, cars need to stop. And if they need to stop, they need to start. So they slow down and they speed up and they slow down, and it controls the speed. It's unlikely between traffic lights you'll get up to a speed of 100 plus. But if you've got a free road that's 2 kilometres long, you'll be up to that speed in no time.
And the public have also agreed with the FRA, calling for immediate action.
They should put the traffic light to ease the flow of the traffic and avoid the accident.
Put traffic lights there and road humps to control the speed.
I think we have to put the light there because of the drivers over speeding here. Too much of accidents going on. So I think they should put a light there.
The FRA will soon be carrying out a second road safety audit on the newly developed 4-lane highways in Nandi. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
The Fiji National Council for Disabled Persons has supported the Fiji Police Force's war on drugs. Executive Director Dr. Sitiveni Yanuyanutawa says the long-term use and abuse of illegal substances has affected many Fijians, with more than 113,000 people registering a form of disability. Dr. Yanuyanutawa says it's imperative the police do everything they can to curb these criminal activities.
When we look at the bigger picture, this is where disability comes in as well. People who have been cut down with even things like illicit substances ended up having some psychological challenges.
The Japanese government has provided funding of over $8 million to support the recovery of Fiji's education sector post-TC Winston. Japanese ambassador to Fiji, Masahiro Omura, says they have supported a total of 9 schools through the Adopt a School program.
The government of Japan has been actively involved in supporting Fiji's recovery efforts post-TC Winston. Such harmonization is key to Japan's development cooperation with this country. These projects will further strengthen friendship between the people and governments of Japan and Fiji.
Ahead in sports with Jamie, high jumper Malakai Kaiwai eyes a medal in Commonwealth Games, but we now join Rachel for the latest in business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up in business tonight. Big investment by Frispac in its own future. And in growing Fiji, major road upgrades for Suva. Stay with us.
Moala rarana lika o tikongona taunu singa toka ando talitaka na wakaronga ng Bull FM number 2 na seri.
Ya lora chubuni kurnambili. Borani batukara hambara binaranga. Do talitaki na wakaronga ng Bull FM number 2 na seri. Bula.
Bull FM number 2 na seri.
In business tonight, the Frispac Ginger Fiji Limited factory at Wailanda in Lami received a $300,000 facelift to improve its production quality. 100 people are currently working at the factory. Pranita Prakash reports.
The growing demand of ginger and ginger products in the local and overseas market was the reason behind the major facelift of the factory.
In preparation for the journey ahead, the Freshpack factory has been quite busy over the last couple of months. These works involved an investment of over $300,000 to install new flooring, repainting and amenities upgrades. We are very proud of the achievement and equally proud of our Freshpack team and the work that they carry out on a daily basis, producing high-quality ginger products.
Assistant Agriculture Minister VM Pillay says ginger has greater growth potential than any other agricultural export commodity.
Since the 1950s, Fiji has been exporting ginger. By the mid-1980s, ginger has become the second biggest agriculture export after sugar, with over 2,300 tons of mature fresh ginger sea freighted annually to North America. Today, the focus on export market is a narrow seasonal needs by baby ginger. In parallel to the fresh export industry, processed ginger is now the industry's dominant sector and is where the greatest growth opportunities lie.
The owners of Freshpack Ginger Factory aim to double their sales over the next 5 years. The company exports more than 700 tons of processed ginger every year, which rakes in more than $5 million. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
And we now join Sharon from HFC Bank with the latest from the currency market.
We had a quiet start in the forex market today. Weighed by falling U.S. Treasury bond yields and the disappointing data from Richmond Fed Manufacturing Index, the US dollar slumped to its lowest level since December 2014. The commodity-sensitive Aussie dollar also struggled to find demand amid a sharp fall in copper prices. Meanwhile, data from the European Commission showed Eurozone consumer confidence rose more than expected in January, indicating that growth is booming in Eurozone. It was more than twice what was expected. Tomorrow, New Zealand will release its final quarter inflation numbers. So let's see what path our dollar takes against Kiwi dollar tomorrow. And that's all for tonight. Thank you.
Thanks for the update, Sharon. Looking at today's current exchange rate set this morning for the Fijian dollar. The Fiji dollar rose against the US dollar, the Aussie dollar and the PNG Kina, and rather slipped slightly against the other currencies we cover. On to the commodities market, oil prices continue to rise, closing at $64.47 a barrel. Gold rose to close at $1,340 an ounce, and silver dipped slightly, closing at $17 an ounce. And in Fiji tonight, the second phase of the Suva arterial road upgrade project known as Sarup 2 will be rolled out in the next 3 months and is expected to affect traffic flow in and around Suva. The Fiji Roads Authority has $20 million embarked for this project, which will see major upgrades to over 20 roads. Maggie Boyle with the story.
Expect more work in the capital, with the FRA embarking on major reconstruction.
The Sarup 2 project should be starting around about April, with reconstruction of 21 roads around Suva. And on the Sarup 2 project, we're talking about complete reconstruction.
Moore says prior to the work commencing, a traffic study has been undertaken.
The transportation study happening right now is to support the Sarup 2 project, and the Sarup 2 is throughout Suva in various locations, and to actually make the design correct and the planning correct, we have to have a traffic count.
He adds while they will try to minimise disruptions, some roads will be closed.
We have to separate the roads out into areas that won't congest and affect each other. Some roads will be closed because we do have to reconstruct the entire road. Also, through the direction of the Attorney General's office, we're actually doing some service work as well, so power and water will be included in those, and TfL will be included in those projects as well.
The project is expected to take 18 to 24 months to complete. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
And that's business this evening. Now to sports. Here's Jamie with the latest.
Thank you, Rachel, and good evening. Up ahead in sports, 3 flying Fijians nominated for Top European Award. And Carla Niles and Perry Baker boost USA Sevens team for Sydney. This and more after the break.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकू रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची FM सुनती हूँ. मिर्ची FM is number 1. It's so hot.
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची FM सुनो अच्छा लगे. मिर्ची FM is hot.
हाय, मैं संध्या नारिया रेफ्रिकी से मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची FM सुनते हैं. मिर्ची FM is hot. I love मिर्ची FM.
हमें स्पिन तक ताबुआ के मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Flying Fijians Leone Nakarawa, Suva, Suva and Levani Mbotia have been nominated for the European Professional Club Rugby Player of the Year award. Nakarawa has been at his best playing at lock for Racing 92 this season, while Toulon's scoring machine Suva continues to run rampage over defenders in the top 14 and European Champions Cup. Mbotia has also been in devastating form, playing at flanker, centre and wing for La Rochelle. Two other Fijian players have also been included, Leinster captain Isa Nadewa and Clermont wing Alivere Tiraka, players from 8 different clubs in all 3 European leagues among the 15 nominees. The USA men's sevens team face an uphill battle from the outset at the Sydney Sevens this weekend. The side to take on the host in the opening game on the same day as National Day of Australia. Coach Mike Friday, though, will have some consolation with speedsters Perry Baker and Carla Niles in his team. Vastil Prasad has more.
The USA Sevens side is aware of what to expect from the host team in its opening match in Sydney on Friday. Coach Mike Friday hopes to throw all his experienced players to win the game.
I expect Australia to be very, very hard for us, especially in the breakdown. They're very, very competitive and they're very, very clever at keeping the ball. So it's who can control possession, which will be crucial in that game one.
No doubt, speed stars Carling Isles and Perry Baker will be the two players to watch. Isles says playing alongside Baker has always been a great feeling.
I mean, Perry's a phenomenal athlete, phenomenal rugby player, and his IQ is very, very high. But he also pushes me too, so it's good to have another winger that's fast as well.
Baker, who was also named the World Rugby Sevens Player of the Year last season, says he still has the gas to score more tries.
I'm older now, though. They didn't want to race me when I was in my prime. I'm 31 now. I was in my prime when I was like 26. I was faster.
USA opens the campaign against Australia before facing Scotland and then Canada in the last pool match on Saturday. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
The All Blacks women's sevens team has plenty of motivation for the tournament in Sydney this weekend. They're not only aiming to beat a powerful Aussie side at home, but there's also a historic Commonwealth Games campaign just around the corner. This report from TVNZ.
Preparing to perform on the Sydney Sevens stage. A mental challenge as much as a physical one, given it also means dealing with the raucous Aussie crowd.
Oh mate, I've never heard anything like it. It's like, oh, you'll have to wait 4 years, Kiwis.
Call it added motivation as the team tries to reassert itself after a 5th placing in their World Series opener in Dubai. Decision-making in crunch scenarios, a key work on since.
We just put them under pressure as much as we can, fatigue-wise, skill-wise, physical contact-wise, and try and single them out and see how they react to it. And the probably key is about collectively working it out together.
It's particularly significant given what else is to come this year.
We've always seen our men go and compete, and then I think competing at the Olympics in 2016 for the first time was an amazing experience, and I know the Commonwealth Games are going to be just as good.
The side's also looking to embrace Sydney's soaring temperatures to help with Gold Coast preparations.
Bull FM Maras Volleyball Tournament defending women's champions, Water Authority of Fiji, have prepared harder for this year's tournament. Despite winning all the major tournaments it's competed in since 2016, the team isn't underrating its competitors this weekend. Luciana Tangedakimbao reports.
It won't be an easy ride for the defending champions. Head coach Penny Ratumayali says the team is aware of the tough task ahead.
I told the girls, you know, it's easy to go and get the title, but to defend it is very hard. So it's plenty thinking have to be done. Plenty goals setting have to be done in order to achieve what they want, which they want to defend the title.
Women's team captain and current Fiji rep Anaseni Seniloli says the team will not take any games lightly.
Looking forward to the tournament, and we won't underestimate any team. I know every team is well prepared. And for us, our team, we are coming with a high spirit, and we won't be, giving our title that easily.
Seniloli adds the team consists of new and experienced players.
Development and some experienced players. We're just working on like a game plan. Yeah, everybody's learning.
The tournament starts 9 a.m. on Friday at Suva's Vodafone Arena. Luciana Tangivakimbao, FBC Sports.
Malakai Kaiwai is aiming to create history at the Commonwealth Games in April. The young athlete from Vatulele Island won gold in the men's high jump at the Pacific Mini Games in Vanuatu and hopes to literally raise the bar in Australia. Eroni Tuinuku reports.
It's time for 23-year-old Malakai Kaiwai to put extra effort before the Commonwealth Games in Australia.
Training's been good ever since I came back from the mini games. Just had a 2 weeks break and had to come back for my attachment. So once I did my attachment again, my coach, I had contacted my coach and he told me to start off my training. So it's
With less than 70 days to the Games, Kaiwai is working hard to reach a new personal best.
my personal best right now is 2.09 meters. I hope to improve it, move it up to 2.15.
Meanwhile, athletics Fiji team manager Joseph Rodden says they will take one step at a time while competing at the world stages.
Well, our objective is actually to get out of the heats and make it into the semi-final, right? That in itself is a big achievement because you're talking about a whole different ball game altogether in the Commonwealth Games.
The best 9 athletes to represent Fiji at the Commonwealth Games will be selected next month. Eroni Tuinuku, FBC Sports.
More upsets continue at the Australian Open with high-profile players bowing out of the quarter-final. After Novak Djokovic's early exit, Rafael Nadal retired in the 5th set of his match against Marin Cilic after sustaining a leg injury. Eroni Tuinuku has more.
Frustrated and exhausted with the injury, Rafael Nadal never thought to end his Australian Open run so early. The 6-time champion was treated for his injury in the 4th set before he succumbed to a break in the 5th set against Croatian Marin Cilic.
An opportunity that it's gone for me, so that's I am a positive person and I can be positive.
The world number 4 proved too strong and led 3-1 before Nadal retired in the 5th set.
Well, it's tough, obviously, to see, especially Rafa having to retire. He's always amazing competitor, amazing fighter.
In another match, Kyle Edmund knew it was going to be a tough match against 3rd seed Grigor Dimitrov.
Very tough, but I had a bit of a dip in that 2nd set. I think it was quite poor tennis at some point, but in the 3rd set I managed to break him right at the end.
It was also an interesting day in the women's category. 22-year-old Elise Mertens says winning against her childhood idol Caroline Svitolina will be a memorable moment for her.
Her and Justina Na, the 2 big favorites of Belgium at that time. I mean, what they achieved was amazing, and of course I looked up to them.
Mertens and Caroline Wozniacki have confirmed their spots in the women's singles semi-final, with Marin Cilic and Edmund Kyle qualifying to the men's category. Eroni Tuinuku, FBC Sports.
The Fiji International received a major boost today with Fiji Airways signing on as presenting partner. The tournament, to be known as the Fiji International presented by Fiji Airways, will return to the Pacific for its 5th staging when it's held from 2nd to 5th August at Natandolo Bay Championship Golf Course.
This is seen to become one of the preeminent tournaments in the South Pacific and on tours internationally. The sponsorship of the Fiji International presented by Fiji Airways adds to Fiji Airways' significant support to international sporting excellence.
Sportsmanship and sponsorship form such a significant part of our current commercial strategy because it's been tremendously effective for us to reach into the international markets in bringing in new visitors, in highlighting what Fiji has to offer.
That's it from Sports Tonight. Join Angie later on with weather. And in the world of the weird and the wonderful, scientists are teaching a computer to diagnose heart disease. That's coming up.
Bula, Keron mai singatoka, Keron do talita kana varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kuminasom ko lang do talita kana Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Kaya ko silil tale, nagurara may nawamanyi, nandunga. Gitu talita gini ang gitu pinasabali, nagudurong barong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti na bonga ni BNN.
In new media tonight, could Apple be considering ditching the iPhone X less than a year after the flagship phone's launch? That's exactly what some market analysts predict. It's weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. The weather is quite the same for some time now, all sunny and quite muggy. Well, hoping for some rain about any time now. Checking out the west for today, so hot to be exact. Light showers can be expected for tonight. Eastwards from Peck Harbour to Suva, a muggy day with light winds. We could have very light showers as well. And up north, more sunshine on this side, and it brought about so much humidity. At sea, northeast to southeast winds 15 to 20 knots with moderate to rough seas. For the tides, low tide tomorrow morning will be at 6:10 with high tide at 11:58. Sunrise will be at 5:49. For tomorrow, sunshine is our best friend for now and will stick around for a few more days. Tomorrow's temps, majority of the centers will be hot in the upper 30s. And looking further on to Friday, clear spells are likely. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. And Fiji on Pulse tonight, we ask, are you looking forward to the Super Rugby match between Highlanders and Chiefs?
I think having another Super Rugby in Fiji will be great, and I will cheer for Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I wish the Highlanders the best. We should have more matches, like the one coming up pretty soon, and we are looking forward to it.
I think having another Super Rugby match here is awesome. I will cheer for the Highlanders.
Yes, I'm happy that they are played in Fiji because we get to see these famous players live.
Oh yes, I'm really happy that we get another chance to watch these players in action, as we only see them on TV.
Recapping the main stories, villagers have water after 50-year wait. Woman faces court for bribing public official, and unionist Felix Anthony questioned and released. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question this week, we are asking, can the Fiji Sevens team win its first ever Sydney title this weekend? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, our shot of the day sent in by Isireli Forao. The beautiful view is from Rag Avenue in Namandi Heights, Suva. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was the FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe. Good night.
On the Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kuminasom ko lang do talita na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Kaya ko silil tale, nagurara may nawamanyi, nandunga. Gitu talita gini ang gitu pinasabali, nagudurong barong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti na bonga ni BNN.